Welcome to this Bluebeam presentation, Organizing Your Document Set with ID8. My name is David Haynes. ID8 is an industry experienced technical team, which is a platinum Bluebeam partner. We provide support, consulting, and through our sister company, Modulus, provide project staffing. Please connect with us at bluebeam@id8inc.com or id8bb.com. Check out our blog, Twitter, and YouTube page. I am David Haynes with industry experience as both an architect and a contractor, and I'm a Bluebeam certified consultant. Today's presentation is about organizing your document set. We're first going to talk about existing conditions and solution, then deal with these specific topics of hyperlinks, page labels, sets, compare documents, overlay pages, and batch slip sheet. Notice the two in red are only available in Revu Extreme. Your existing condition is you may get PDF from multiple stakeholders, and you may have to combine multiple PDFs to send out. And if this is not done right and organization is not created correctly, you will have time waste and data missed. So it's really all about faster access to data, less data missed, and organizational tools that make finding data easier. Now on to the presentation. So the first thing we're going to talk about is hyperlinks. The ability to jump to another document, location, space, or snapshot view, or URL. So let me just show you how that is done. Under Tools, Hyperlink, and we select a portion of the page. Up comes this action box. We will deal a lot with this action box to show you all the pieces. Notice how I can open up another PDF, not even open right now, and make it connect hyperlink-wise to this. Now, all these files are located on my hard drive. However, you'd want to put them on a network share so everyone can get attached to it. So all I need to do is just click right on there. That shows me what my action is. And now when I click, it automatically takes me over to that unopened PDF that's now open. So let me show you all the different pieces. I've created an existing hyperlink right here. And through the edit action, you can see that I can jump to actually this is on Studio Project. And I now want to go to page 14. And I say OK. And now when I click on this, it'll actually open up that Studio Project and take me to that page. So it'll work for open documents, Studio Projects, but does not work for Studio Sessions. So I'll go back and let's look at something else. Also, places can be used. So places are named locations. And I have one called regular toilet that I created earlier. Now, when I click on here, it will take me to that named place. Places are noted here on the left-hand side, right here. Places. Right here, left-hand bar, right here. So you can create places here and then make a hyperlink to any of those places. Let's go back. Right here. So we talked about places. Space is the next one I could attach to. Space are designated named parts of a document on an individual layer. And those are noted over, we'll show you in just a second. So here's a space that I've created. Say OK. Now when I click here, here's a space I created. Spaces are created again in this left-hand side, right here. So you can create a space and hyperlink to them. Another option I have is just a rectangle. It's just anywhere on this particular PDF I can do And I can say I want it to go to here. Notice how it created the X and Y. Now when I say OK, you will see that when I then click on it, it will jump to that snapshot view. And then last, but certainly not least, is the ability to attach to a URL. So again, back to edit action, and now place an HTML here. And maybe what I want to do is have them look at a website for ADA requirements. Now, when I click there, see how it opens that page in a URL. It's not, we're on the web here, and it actually put it as another tab within Revu. So those are all possible. I can also adjust how this looks by two methodologies. One is when I pick it with my right mouse, you can see that my dynamic toolbar allows me to see such things as what presently it links to, what kind of style. Notice I've dashed, so I can have dashed or fill or underline. I can set the color and the width, and that tells me kind of how it looks. Now, if I want it visible or invisible, I right-click on it again and go to Properties, and then the Hyperlink Properties comes up right here, and you can see here's visible. I can undo the visibility, and now the red line is gone, but you can still see the link is there. And so if I did click it, it would still come up. So you've got some options of the visibility look. All right, let me close some of these files here. All right, let's now go into something that's only in Bluebeam Revu Extreme. And the reason I'm showing you this is doing this hyperlinking is interesting. However, it's fairly time consuming if you're doing more than one or several. So what Bluebeam Revu Extreme allows us to use is batch link, which automatically creates navigational links with a specific group of PDFs based upon user-defined criteria. So we come here, Bluebeam, link, new. And now it's going to allow me to add files. And actually, I'm going to add files that are not actually open right now. So let's go to add files. Batch link here. Let's add them all. Hit next. Now I get options of what I want to do as the searchable terms. I want to use region right now. We'll talk about page labels in a bit, but let's use page region. That's going to open up one of those and say, what do you want to look at? And really what I want to look at is the sheet numbers. So now I can look at settings, and so if there was this allows me to filter right up in here, but I don't need that filtering for what I'm doing. Link options, you'll see here that I can also set the appearance properties. And so I think I want fill with this sort of light green. That's fine for me. The other thing to notice is these batch links can be saved, and then I can import and export them also. So we're going to click next on generate, which is going to generate all of the paths and actions, and you'll see it's all done here, and I can go down and say, well, looks like it's good. It's not showing me any errors along the way. And now in the bottom right-hand corner, I use run. And now I run, and now it's going through all of those sheets. And there's about 15 or so. They could be hundreds. And the length of time is depending upon how many you have. Notice it came up with 27 hyperlinks, and that's good for me. All right, so now let me go in and open one of those and just show you. Here, file, open. And the one I want to open. And you'll see right here, the green has been added. It's gone through that sheet and found two of them on this particular sheet, two hyperlinks. They're green like I show. I could change those colors if I wanted to. But yet when I click on them, it now opens up that. And so I have a hyperlink number of connections there. And it doesn't depend on how many sheets you have. Could have a lot of PDFs together. So that's batch link. Let us move on now to page labels. And page labels are the naming and numbering of PDFs. And I'm going to show you in just a simple example, but it could be multiple. So we see them when we go to thumbnails, And you'll see here, this says floor plan. And if I had a lot of floor plans, they would all say floor plan. Very hard to understand. So we're going to add page labels to this. So up here, you'll see right here, right next to the word thumbnail. Here's the thumbnail on the left panel. Then thumbnail here, show, and I want to add a new page label. And I could use bookmarks, but I want to use page regions. Select. And now let me get back over to my here. And so I want to start with the sheet number. And then I want to add a dash, and I want to add the sheet title. Okay, and see how it says in the preview here where my mouse is kind of over what it's going to look like. Say OK, OK. And now you can see here that that one's been listed. Now, if I had multiple, like several hundred, it would do it just as well. And so it automatically picks that up and makes it much easier to search and see and understand. Now let's move on to sets. Sets are a way to view and navigate an unlimited number of various source PDFs to create a single PDF in a single tab. Really what it does is create a hub of documents in one pseudo file from various locations. And that's done. And that, we won't need that, on this left-hand side here under Sets, right there. You notice in the new 2018, if you hover, you'll get a tooltip which will help you kind of remember the icons. So we're going to click on this, and we're going to create a new set right here at the top. And this just simply tells you about the same thing I said, but you can read that and see. And so now we're going to come in here and look at this. And you can see here that I have a whole series of PDFs in here, singular PDFs that I want to combine together in a pseudo singular file. It's now read through. Make this a little wider so you can see it. It's gone through. I can go through and do additional kind of things like the design of the drawn by to further add to this. Notice how it did pick up some of the revision numbers here. And I go, okay. As you see here, now it's created sets. It's actually, let me click here where I can show or hide the thumbnails, how it's created sub things by discipline. So it knows these are all architectural, these are plumbing, these are mechanical, so on and so forth. It's a very easy way to combine into a usable kind of way of looking at things. What I really like about it is the ability to search the set. So I click on right here, and so I had those 10 or 12 drawings, and so I typed in the word elevation. Okay? I typed in the word elevation, and here under results, you will see all of it. And I said, well, that's probably just because the title is that. But here, if I look right here, under Door PDF, here where my mouse is at, and click on that, it actually picked up the word elevation that does not exist in either the sheet title or the sheet number. Very easy way after you've done this to kind of search through some things. Very interesting tip. So that deals with sets, but now I can also do what's called a drawing log. And a drawing log makes this so I can export it out to Excel and use it in other ways. Here under Sets, Publish, Export Drawing Log. So you go, here's all of the tags that I was able to put in some built-in. I can move them up and down by using these arrows. If, as far as the order is concerned, if one of these I'm not interested in, like category maybe, I can do that, or maybe I don't want the path. Maybe that's better. I go next, and I have two exports, either as XLS, PDF, or also as a CSV file. And it exports to a particular spot, and so on and so forth. So I just create done. And now I said it needed to be in an Excel file, so it's now going to open that in Excel for me. And I can use that file to send out to others, to do things like create a table out of it. There you go. So I could do further sorting. So this could be very effective if you had a lot of sheets in which you did a lot of items with it. So that was publishing drawing logs. All right, let's move on. Now we're going to look at when you're doing this organization, what happens when things changed? So there's two ways Bluebeam does this in Revu. One is through the compare documents, which highlights each of the changes with a cloud markup, and that exists within the markup list. Or it does it with overlay pages, which is simply overlaying the two pages, and through the colors you'll be able to see. So let's go back here. Move this over a bit. There we go. And now we're going to start with compare documents. So document, compare documents. Right? Best top tip is to make sure the original is in document A and the revised is in document B. Notice it's only comparing two. Okay? It then says there'll be an output folder. You may want to change that. If the PDFs are different sizes or misaligned, you can select windows or pick points. You can turn on dimmer if you want. So I'm going to say OK. And it has almost completed it. There we go. It has completed and created a new PDF, which has the DIFF. I could have changed that during my setup. I select that. And now if I come down here to my markups and filter, so you can just see the ones that are called difference, all of these are now under the difference. So those are all the differences. So that's methodology one. Let's close this. Reduce that. Now the other way was overlay pages. So this may be the way you want to do it. Each of them have the pros and cons, and you got to decide which way works best for you. Document, overlay pages. Now here I could add more drawings, so I could actually overlay many revisions. But again, using these two, it's always best to have the original be first and the revision to be second. I kind of like the original to have a fairly dark color, and the changes to have the red color. All right. Again, we could align points, we could modify, we could edit some of the defaults. I'm leaving those all alone. And you will now see it's going to create the changes. Now what's very interesting, let me close this. What's very interesting about these particular two BFs, there's been a lot of just moving around of titles, which gives me a lot of changes while I'm really might only be interested in this wall over here. But anyway, it allows you to do that, and that's done through colors. Lastly, I want to show you one last item dealing with batch slip sheet. Again, this is available only in Revu Extreme. But what it does is you can auto add new sheets or revisions by slipping the new sheets, the new revision sheets in with the others. So it's very easy to do that in a batch scenario. So you can imagine if you had lots of revisions, all that manual work you'd have to do, this does it automatically. Batch, slip sheet. Here I've got a dialog box we've kind of seen before. So what we're going to do is we're going to add certain files to it. And I do not want these revisions in the existing. Open. So this is the current or existing files. Here's the revised files. Add. And in this situation, I only want these two, which are the only two revisions in this workflow I've got. All right. Notice here also how I can save the batch and load the batch. So if I'm doing this a lot, I get that savings of time. I also am going to be able to match by a whole series of things. We're going to stick with file name, match pages. And as I suspected, there's two revisions, two existing, and it gives me the chance to replace current pages with revised pages or insert I want to replace. It allows me to copy or not copy the markups. I'll leave all of that alone, and I want it to unflatten. Okay. Says there was two sheets slipped, and it allows me to create a report that's in a PDF and placed upon a location, and I'm going to open that report when I'm done here. See how it said here's the two sheets that were slipped, and here's the unmatched pages. And what's really great is I get to come in here and click, and it actually hyperlinks. And there's the revision versus here's the one that is going to be, quote, superseded. And it actually puts that stamp in for me. So that is great ways how you can organize your set. Thank you. For more information about Bluebeam Revu or to download a 30-day free trial, please reach out to us at bluebeam@ideating.com. Thank you.